Hey y'all, welcome to Living Real Life Outdoors. From turkey tails and trout trails to tall tines and tailwaters. An outdoor audio magazine podcast focusing on hunting, fly fishing, archery, firearms too. Interviews and hunting and fishing stories, men and women of the outdoors, a conservationist of the wildlife we pursue. See y'all in the woods and on the streams. Your host, Legends of the Outdoors Board of Directors, Donnie Conway.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show, Living Real Life Outdoors. This is episode 9. I apologize for not getting another episode on due to scheduling and timing, and we had a big winter storm last weekend and a lot of snow. We got still a lot of snow on the ground. This is February 1st, 2026. And finally got Mr. Dan and Mr. Billy Edgar here. And we're going to talk about winter fly fishing in this first segment. Why don't you tell us a little bit there, Mr. Dan, about winter fly fishing, buddy?
Sure. I think predominantly here in our area, we're mostly spring creeks in our area. So we have pretty big prevalence of midge hatches and things like that going on right now. We always have a nice population of scuds and things like that in the system also, and so that's sort of our go-to right now. Fishing both subsurface and then also the emergence where you have them coming up and clustering together on the surface to where they're as they're mating, they have a tendency, they'll cluster up in groups, and so it gives you some opportunities to fish things like some of the guys at the trout park like to fish things like renegades and things like that have hackle on the front and back, and they sort of emulate a cluster of midges, and also little groups of mayflies and things like that as they gather up in those little eddies and things like that in the water system, but focusing pretty small right now, and then subsurface.
Well, you know, you're talking about midges, and I've always been told that midges are big popular during the winter time. You know, subsurface meals versus top water.
Yeah.
Well, I went down to Merrimack Springs a while ago to drop off my laundry. A lady down there does my laundry for me. So I went through the park just to look, and there was about 3 or 4 trucks down there and fishing, fly fishing. So I stopped and asked the one guy, and he said first thing right off the bat, when the horn blew, he was catching fish on dry fly.
Yep.
Crackback, floating on top of the water.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd because you wouldn't think that, you know, it's 13 degrees. What's going to hatch at 13 degrees?
Yeah.
Or less? Well, it's probably less then. It's probably like 9 or 10.
Yeah, the amount of things that hatch in the wintertime definitely go down a fair amount, and midges being the most prevalent things that'll still hatch in the wintertime. And then you have blue-winged olives that'll hatch in the afternoon, sort of on cloudy days and things like that too. But the crackleback, that's an interesting one. It looks like a lot of different things, and so I think that's sort of.
Well, he was fishing a spot where he said it's that real deep hole right where the rock steps are on this side right there by that second cleaning station. And he said they were just ganged up in that hole.
Yeah.
He said the biggest one he caught was probably 12 inches, so it was all a bunch of small ones. But anyway, he was saying he was also, when he went to the straight zebra midge, he caught a few that way, and then he said, he did a smaller dropper when he quit biting on that zebra midge. A smaller midge, and used the crackleback as his dry.
Yeah.
And he said he was zipping it just enough to pull the cracker back under the water a little bit. He says they were hitting that cracker.
Oh, right on. That's cool.
Now you like tying them
I
cracks.
love crackerbacks, yep, I love those.
That's what we tied the last segment you did.
And
then.
do crackerbacks.
So,
Maybe we can figure out a way to attach the crackerback back to a moth fly.
come on, fly.
Here we go.
Oh, Dan's a big fan of the orange mop fly and the
There we
tree
go.
mop fly.
Here we go.
But it's an inside joke, guys. But anyway, you've been tying some crawdads.
Working on some crawdads right now, yeah, we did.
And you showed me one there with the foxtail.
Yeah, we had a little squirrel tail for the claws, and
That looked pretty cool.
we started to use a little mallard flank for the claws. It was a little difficult to work with, so I just decided to try the squirrel tail.
So now, those are considered like a streamer, right?
Yeah, yeah, they'll sink to the bottom and they'll just kind of roll around, roll down the stream of the river. Just kind of let it go.
So you strip them in?
Just kind of leave them, just kind of let it go, kind of like a warbler or something like that. It'll roll down the river.
Have you ever used them?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sort of fish upstream.
I
and then-
mean, you're doing a pretty good job. They look like a little mini
I did a couple different
crawdad,
ones,
man.
yeah. Something kind of like a cray pattern, and then another one, it's the clouser.
Yeah.
The clouser pattern.
Now, what was the one you actually showed me with the foxtail?
So that would be the clouser crawdad. Yeah, so I'll be making some more of those later on today.
Speaking of, did you ever get any more of them hoppers in?
They're Dave's hoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of the,
Yeah.
deer hair hopper.
But, so what do you, why don't you tell everybody, Dan, what you would recommend for everybody to use for winter time like this, other than hand warmers and cold?
Ah, right,
And a
yeah.
nice warm jacket.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's the biggest thing. If you know, a lot of people switch over to boot foot waders and things like that in the wintertime too. They have a tendency to keep your feet a little bit warmer also, and stocking foot, and you can sort of layer up a little bit underneath those, and then can sort of bind around your ankles to tighten up the boot foot and things like that, and that sort of helps quite a bit. And then having a couple layers on, so you tuck your hands in there. We were just talking about two-handed casting earlier, and fishing just downstream drifts and things like that with two-handed trout spay rods, and so you can tuck your hands in there while you're drifting and things like that, and sort of, you know, because a lot of activity below subsurface gives you some opportunity to drift some of those things, especially even streamers for smallmouth and those deeper sections of the river and stuff like that. And so changing your equipment over to where you don't have as much overhead casting, and where you can work the roll cast a little bit and keep your hands warm and sort of tuck in. And
I know the last couple winters, now the one winter I waited a little bit, but then I started just wearing my knee-high boots. You know, I'm getting about knee-high, because that way
Yeah.
I wear my heavier jacket.
oh yeah, yeah,
And I still put on whether I have waders on or I have my jeans on, I'm still wearing the Grundy fly fishing pants.
oh yeah, yeah.
The wader pants.
The layered knee.
Because they're super warm.
Yeah, yeah.
I was shocked how warm they really are.
Yeah, there's a big thing about like wearing acrylics and merino wools and things like that, especially for us that are in the water and stuff like that. They continue to warm you, you know, even if they get wet, you know. So sort of like we've all learned our lessons elk hunting and all those things where you wear cotton and you shouldn't have, and so
And you're
when you're
soaking wet.
yeah, whenever you're
Yeah.
sweating and things like that, merino wool it's hard to beat that, you know. So layering up with those things and have a good base layer.
Well, I don't know, merino wool, I guess, is doing a lot better than it did years ago, because it was so doggone thick when I had the glove, or even the cap. It just, it was itchy, for
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah,
And I guess it's because of the other fibers that they put in with it.
yeah,
But the gloves were so thick they couldn't do it.
yeah, yeah,
And a lot of guys say, why don't you wear gloves when you're fly fishing in the winter? And I said, I can't,
yeah,
because I can't. I want to be able to feel my.
yeah,
And that's why I
Yeah.
keep hand warmers
Yeah.
The real big, heavy duty hand warmers, I'll put 2 in each pocket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, and sometimes it'll warm up so dang hot, it gets hot in my pocket. But that's all right, you know, because that's
Yeah.
better than being cold. But, and if you got to release a fish and you get your hands wet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got to have something to warm them back
Yeah.
up, because otherwise you're done.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? I mean, thank goodness for hand warmers, because
Yeah.
years ago, without them, I wouldn't be able to last very long at all. I forgot some, when was it, I think it was in March, 2 years ago, when I went to Bennett
Yeah.
one morning, and the horn blew and it was cold. And I forgot my hand warmer.
Yeah.
I lasted about 25 minutes after the horn. And I told the guy next to me, I mean, I was catching fish, but I got my hands wet.
Yeah.
Didn't know way to warm them up. I said, hey, my hand warmers are in the Jeep. I'm going to warm up. So when I went over, I broke, I mean, I was so dang, my fingers were numb. I
Yeah.
couldn't even feel the key to get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ignition, you know.
Yeah.
But, so now, have you done a lot on winter fly fishing?
Yeah. That's my favorite season. Yeah, for sure. I think that, with the shop open this
And I've
year,
heard
I've been
that from a lot of
yeah,
people.
I've been a little more limited this year with the shop opening up here and things like that. But I think that's my favorite. I think it gives you a little bit more. You know, you're out there a lot by yourself, and you get to
Well,
cover some areas that you don't normally.
That's
get to
the
probably.
only thing that I would think of why I would even like it,
Yeah.
because you got more.
Especially during the week too. I mean, usually you're the only ones in the park.
Yeah,
During
yeah.
the weekdays.
Well, you know, I wish I'd have took advantage of the nice warm days we had, but that was right in frickin' deer season. And I'm not quitting deer hunting to go fishing. But, I loved it. I like wintertime fishing.
Yeah.
Now still on the streams, on the rivers and the ribbon areas, you can still keep fish, right?
You can. Yeah.
And see, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, they're
They
slotted
think-
out though.
They think because the park's closed for it's catch and release, they think it's
Yeah,
the
they
same
have
way the river-
limitations too about the sizes.
Yeah, it's gotta be, what is it, like 18 inches? I
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
and I didn't know Taneycomo, I was talking about that slot with one of you guys down there, I think it was you, on that last episode we did.
Yeah.
I think the actual slot is anything under 12 and anything over 20.
Yeah.
And I thought it was 18,
Yeah.
but it's 20. But still, you keep a 20-inch, 22-inch trout,
Yeah.
if nobody sees you take it, they're gonna look at you like you're freaking dirty, man. If you keep that thing, you know?
I've heard that. Some people.
They do, boy, they frown upon you bad down
Yeah.
there. And, you know, when I look at it this way, hey, they put thousands and thousands in Taneycomo. Eventually gonna have too much fish in there,
Yeah.
so why not keep them?
I think aren't they stocking some 10,000 or so rainbows in there at a time or so, and then about 4,000 brown trout or something like that at a whack.
Well, if they're doing it numerous times throughout the year.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can only, and I would look at it with fish as the same way you would deer.
Yeah.
It's only gonna sustain so many per acre per mile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna start having dead fish because they ain't got nothing to eat.
Yeah. It's the consistency of the food source coming off the lake too. You know.
And a lot of that comes out from under table rock there.
Yeah. And those got a lot of those the aquatic earthworms and things like that
Yeah.
that are down through that area.
I mean, there's a lot of food, no doubt about it, but if you start getting numbers of fish,
There's a lot of
that's
them in
gonna
there.
cut down on the food sources too. you
Yeah.
know? 'Cause like I
Preventing
said,
their size from
I mean,
increasing
the
a little
hatcheries
bit.
right there, and they're stocking numerous times throughout the year.
Yeah.
I remember that one, I was down there, I guess it's been 2 years ago. I was talking to conservation agent, it was in September. And, he was down there checking people. And he said they had just stopped, this was on Sunday morning. And he said they had just stocked that Friday almost 11,000 fish.
Yeah,
And that was in September. He
Yeah.
said then they stocked, 2 or 3, 4 times during the summer and
yeah,
I don't know how many during the winter time.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of too, like, I know that we've caught over the years several fish, those brown trout down there are just eating the heck out of this little fry too, the rainbows and so that's helping those dudes out a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot of fish going there for sure.
Hey, Dan, you want to do a little product commercial here? And we'll kind of incorporate this into the podcast here.
Okay.
Some of your new product that you're carrying already.
Yeah, we, here in the shop, we've continued to add new product as we've gone along. We've been open now since February of last year, and so we did our real grand opening around Father's Day of last year, and so we're getting close to a year of being in the building, and so every month or so we start to bring in new products and stuff like that, and starting to expand out the lines and things like that. We just brought in some of the new River Armor fish pond nets and things like that this week. Brought in some of the new Redington Classic trout rods at 4 and 5 weight.
You don't have that river on there.
Oh, so
Somebody
Donnie,
bought that, didn't they?
yeah, so Donnie relieved us of having to carry that around too long yesterday evening. But we do have one of the Yampa hand nets left in the smaller basket size, and so they're putting them together in both the hand net and then also the what was the style that you got?
Emerger.
The emerger net. That's been a really
That's
popular
kind
one.
of, I bought that one back in, what was it, October?
Yeah,
September?
yeah. They're
That's a really nice, super nice net.
yeah. It's a good compromise between length and balances
Well, and
really well and
My,
got good reach.
and the reason I was looking for something about like that, because I really like wood handle. I've always liked,
Yeah,
and I like the long ones.
yeah,
And I noticed with the fish pond pack with my wooden handle, because it's so long,
yeah,
I can't sit anywhere without that
Yeah,
handle
right, yeah.
sitting on top.
Yeah.
So I'd have to kind of sit on the edge of a rock or
Yeah.
the benches and let the handle hang off the end,
yeah.
But yeah, you got
Yeah.
some new reels in.
Yeah, we pulled in some new Redington runs into the shop. He's been a good compromise with the price point and then also quality of those. And
And they are pretty nice reels.
yeah, pretty nice reel for $140, and those have been pretty popular here toward the fall. And Donnie, of course, buys about everyone that comes in the shop. He's got
You're
about
supposed to be
1,000.
ordering me a brown
Yeah,
one,
got
or a
about-
tan one, desert.
Donnie's got about 1,000 fly rods that needs reels for. So.
No, I only got 1,000 reels I need fly rod for. But well, I bought the gray one, kind of the gray gunmetal, I guess,
Yeah,
and caught 2 or 3 limits on it.
yeah,
And then an older gentleman from Jeff City came in.
Yeah.
I just happened to be here, and he didn't want to pay the price for a new one.
yeah.
I said, hey man, I got one that I've used a few times, I'll sell you. He said, how much? I said, $90. Well, he jumped on it. So then I turned around and bought the black one. And then I seen you got the gray one in
Yeah.
yesterday, so I went on ahead and bought it again.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I thought, Redington's come a long ways, because they used to be pretty crappy years ago. They did. I didn't care that much for the product back
Yeah.
years ago. But they've come a long way.
yeah.
Nice, decent product.
Yeah, they benefit from being part of that far bank portfolio to where they have a lot more resources now.
So they're owned by Farbank? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're in that
Sage-
group,
Sage.
Sage group, and sure their rods, they benefit from their rod design and crew and things like that. So
See, now I matched up my other Redington with the Echo rod that I bought from that carbon stuff.
Yep. Those are good quality at an entry-level price point, for sure.
So now you say you're gonna start carrying some Galvin, right?
Yep, this next season, we're gonna move into some Galvins in the shop and try to get some sage reels and things like that into, to get a steady stock of those in the shop as well.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a break here for a second, and we'll be back with the rod building section. Hey, guys, welcome back to the show, the second segment of this podcast, episode 9. And I'm here with Mr. Dan Lim at the White Buffalo Fly Shop, and Dan's gonna talk a little bit about his fly or rod building class that he started a couple weeks ago, and kind of give us a little bit of information on that, and show one of the rods he's doing here.
Yeah, so we started building rods here in the shop. We had a fair amount of people requesting to do some custom things, and there wasn't really a place to buy components and things like that nearby, and so we decided that we'd put together some classes and see if anyone was really interested in attending. And so our first class was really successful. We filled her out with a few people, and they were able to build their rods from start to finish. And our big goal is to get everybody the primary skills that they can start wrapping guides on, and then we supply all of the rod blanks, the guides, the reel seats, and cork, and then we can modify and go either better quality cork, better quality reel seats, things like that, depending on what people want to do. So it is truly custom, and so we'll have sort of a gamut of different components, and people sort of pick what they want to put on there. And so we have just a huge amount of thread colors, different types, whether it be color preserved threads, which keep their color exactly as you see them on the spool, or the standard nylons, they'll bleed through a little bit, and they make a really nice clean tone whenever they bleed through. And
Now, is this one you built?
this is one of the factory rods, and so the differences in these guys, one of the cool things about this customization process is a lot of the factory rods that you see are they're pretty standard as far as components and colors and things like that, and so that's where the customization it gets to be a lot of fun, because you can really modify things. You can write things on the rod if you're building it for somebody. If it's like a commemorative type of a thing, you can work the grips and things like that to a more to fit your hand a little bit better. You can pick your reel seat insert, whether you like a dark tone like mahoganies, or if you like graphites, or you like
See, I like the skeleton.
Yeah.
You guys, they're the ones
Yeah.
that did.
really cool. They make a lot of different components now. We can customize and build the components in-house if we need to, on the metal lathe, or and then turn the reel seats here in-house also if we aren't able to find something that a person likes factory-wise.
Kind of describe the skeleton. So everybody knows.
Yeah, so the skeleton reel seats are, they'll have a standard insert on the inside, and then they'll have.
And it can be wood, right?
It can be, yep, yeah. And so one of the ones that we have used a lot, they have a sort of a window seat that you can see the reel seat from sort of through the skeleton type of a covering that goes over it. And so they're pretty unique. And so there's a lot of different styles and things like that you have. A lot of the ones that come in factory are pretty standard. Like this is the up-locking reel seat that this has a standard slide band on there, and then up locks to hold your reel steady. And so those come a little more standards, and 4 weights and up, and then a lot of times slide bands will be more typical in the smaller weights, the 3s and below. But a lot of people can put slide bands, and you can go up to 5 weight on those if you'd like to, but really whenever you start getting the bigger reels and things like that where you have a weight offset, that's where the up locking reel seat starts to become a little bit more important.
Now, on the skeleton part of that, Now you hand turn the wood, right?
There's some cases where you will, yeah.
And then the cork as well?
Yeah, yeah, and so there's a lot of different grip sizes and things like that you can do, whether it be reverse half wells or full wells, which you know is a little bit modified for a larger grip, to where you have your thumb a little bit more supported in there, and the grip is a little bit more broad. And so bigger sizes, 6 and up, generally is
And
where
then
you'll see
you
those.
can put the rubber corking in.
You can, yeah, you can.
And that's what I wanna do on my build.
Yeah, yeah, and you can put Donnie, speaking of the rubber, rubberized cork, that you can make rings that sort of modify the grip a little bit to give them a little bit of a decorative type of a finish to them.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
And I'd like to, do the fighting butt as well.
yeah,
And then varnish it.
yeah.
You said that's a water-based varnish?
There are some ways that you can use water-based. They're a little bit more, they can be a little bit more flexible. Like I don't know if you've seen, like, polyurethane sometimes can get to where it'll crackle and
Well,
things
it'll
like
start
that.
turning yellow too.
Yeah, and so.
Well, some varnishes, the old time varnishes
Yeah,
will turn
so,
yellow.
yeah, there's some ways that you can use water-based sealants and things like that to seal some of those rubberized.
Well, see, the one I have built is real shiny, pretty.
Yeah.
Now, water-based, if you put it in the water, is it eventually gonna take that off, or?
It takes quite a while. I mean, it does. It takes quite a
So they
while.
it uses to the cork pretty
Yeah,
good?
yeah, and so generally you'll only put that on the parts that you're not gripping on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that
Cause
will
that's the way
seal.
they did mine.
Yeah, they're.
On the part you're not gripping.
Yeah, some people like to seal cork, some people like to just leave it natural, and that's just really a personal preference thing. Sometimes whenever you seal the cork, it can make it to where it feels a little bit more rigid and isn't quite as,
Now-
might make it a little bit more slippery.
When you
know.
do put your rods, your cork in the water,
Mm-hmm.
like, taking pictures and whatnot, and releasing or whatever, you always wanna make sure you let them dry out before you put them back away.
Yeah. A lot of folks, if you have a rod tube, leaving the cap open is sometimes, you set the cap to the side and just open up the rod bag a little bit and just let it air out a little
Well, I was
bit.
listening to another podcast here, and probably 6-8 months ago, the guy was talking about a brand new Winston rod. First time he used it, it was raining, it got soaking wet, and then he had it in the water, and he didn't let it dry before he put
Oh,
it in
yeah.
the sock.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
had
man.
it in the tube,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks later, he brought it out,
Yeah.
and it had just demolished
oh man, yeah.
demolished the cork, and the wood had swelled up so much that the furniture wouldn't
Yeah,
move,
yeah.
and it messed up this part of the rod.
Yeah.
It kind of just started bubbling, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple that whenever you get
It
home,
said so.
just throw
It
it
said
out.
so. That's a big no-no. Make sure you dry your stuff out before you
Man,
pack
it
it away.
is. Yeah, because we're pretty apt to throw stuff in the truck and forget about it after you get
Yeah.
done.
Well, now I got another question on the like the skeleton real seat. Can you still do the antique furniture type like they got on that new run that I had made?
Like sort of an antique, yeah, there's a lot of different, like through the anodization, to where you anodize aluminum, you can get different colors and things like that. You
No.
can anodize them that
What
way.
did you call that furniture? Because you showed me one that's pretty identical to the one I had made.
With the, there's,
Antique sort.
yeah, there's a chroming process that you can do to get sort of like a blued look to it. And then also too, if you have nickel silver, then I'll generally blue those. And it's sort of like whenever you blue your rifles and stuff like that. And so it's real
Oh,
deep,
okay.
dark black, and with aluminum, of course, you can't blue those, so you have to anodize them. And so there's a process that goes along with that, with sort of like electroplating type of a thing. And so
So now you have you have different tiers of this, and they're
Yeah.
both carbon, or?
there are a couple different ways that we're looking at it, and a lot of the price differentiation it comes from the sort of the technology in the blank. And so We
So
build
now
on
your
a
first tier was like, what, 295?
Yeah, and so we'll do a full build, and so then the second level up, it improves your cork level. You go up to a floor grade cork, which is nearly perfect, and it's hard to get good quality cork now, but you'll go through and sort, and we'll build out your grip to be as perfect as we can get, and then the cork rings they increase in price quite a bit from level to level. There's single A, double A, 3A, 4A, and then floor grade, and so it's just depending on what you're looking at for
So now,
price point.
your second level, is that graphite or carbon?
Graphite, yeah, and
But
so
it's
we.
carbon mix too?
Yeah, and so the matrices on these, they've gotten so good that the price levels have come down a fair amount, to where you can get a really wide range of different actions and things like that, different lengths, and those all come through that customization process too. And so they're all really good quality now. I mean, there are a lot of different manufacturers that are, whether it be in Japan, China, good USA blanks, through, St. Croix, those guys make great blanks, and
You're dealing with them a lot now.
yeah, they make some blanks for us, and there's a lot of custom processes that you can get done through those, and so a lot of ways to work through this process. And
Now, how many
something really
tiers have you got? Just one and two?
well, we've got two tiers of carbon graphite, and then one bamboo build.
Yeah.
And so we also will be doing a standard six
now-
strip bamboo.
So now, like your second tier, would you say that was $495 or something?
It's around $500, and so we're trying to give people an option to build on
Decent rods for quality price.
right, yeah. And so
A quality rod for a decent price.
yeah, and so with your customizing, you can sort of tinker with the price point a little bit more than
Yeah,
being stuck in a so yeah.
Well, see,
you
I
can-
want to do one of each.
Oh yeah, and so and then the bamboo rods, we just do everything. They're all
Now, your
you know,
bamboo, of course, bamboo's expensive anyway, but there's a lot more involved in
Yeah.
that too, isn't there?
There is, and it's a time commitment. And it'll
What did you
take.
say, that was around about 1,395?
It'll,
1,400?
yeah, it'll be starting there, and so we, just depending on what we decide to build also, and so, the time allocation is really what, changes that and
So-
the components we pick.
I got this thing about a two-piece rod,
Yeah,
I don't like it.
yeah, like two-piecers, yeah,
I mean, even if I cut it down to a three-piece,
yeah.
can you do that in a bamboo?
Sure, yeah, you can do
I mean,
three-piecers.
everybody says you don't want to do four because you're losing a lot of your
Yeah.
sensitivity
It-
or whatever, casting ability was.
It adds, so like, depending on what type of a ferrule system you use, like a lot of people use nickel silver ferrules, that's pretty standard. And then there's a way that we could build into bamboo ferrules, which is a little bit more connectivity. So it's about really, and a lot of the bamboo designs are around trying to help that flattening of the curve. And so like there's some rigidity at each one of those segments. And so it changes the feel of it a little bit. And so the two pieces it feels as continuous as you can get, and so that's a lot of reason why a lot of them are two-piece. And then three-piece, the builds are pretty,
Well, I noticed
consistent
the
also.
one that Caleb brought in that was given to him. It was an eight and a half, I think.
yeah, I think it was 8.
Eight.
Yeah,
And it was already starting, the weight itself had the tip kind of
Yeah.
jumping a little. Was that
Yeah.
normal?
it depends, the tapers are there have been so much experimentation on the taper, and so that meaning like the
But he said he figured
thickness.
out that was a 5 weight.
Yeah, and so looking at how it bends, how it feels with different. The best thing to do with bamboo rods is trying different line weights on them to see which one feels
Yeah,
like it's
which fits better.
because you can build in like
That
a,
can get expensive myself.
it can, yeah. And a lot of people will have a standard weight forward line that gives you an idea, because they'll load pretty they'll load pretty normally. I generally will use like a DT line on mine, a double taper line on mine, and so there's just a big variance of that, and it depends on if you like a little bit more of a flexible feel all the way through the handle, like you want to feel it flex all the way down, or if you want something that's a little faster, that you want the feel to be a little bit ahead of the handle. And so like you can really tinker a lot with the tapers on those, and so they're ones that feel a little bit more graphite-like in their responses and the way that the stress curve is on them. They like the Payne 101 is a rod taper that I like, and that's one that my mentor, we built with him, and so like it was a favorite of his, and so it feels very, it's a really powerful swelled butt type of taper that's really, that doesn't take a lot of adaptation from graphite to bamboo, and so they just cast differently, and so bamboo, it works a little bit of a patience level into you, so because you gotta wait and feel it load and allow the rod to do the work. And so that's one of the things about graphite is we have a tendency to work the graphite a little bit more than allowing it to do the work, and so it just sort of, you get accustomed to that. A lot of people that fish spinning rods and things like that, you get accustomed to you doing a lot of the work, and so you just got to get used to allowing the rod to do a lot of it. So that's sort of a big changeover.
All right, guys, that's the rundown on Mr. Dan's rod building and classes. Dan, how can they get a hold of you if somebody wants to come in and build a rod?
Well, we're right here on Pine Street in Rolla, and we're at 605 North Pine. We have a website, whitebuffaloflyshop.com. We also, my email is dan@whitebuffaloflyshop. You can get a hold of us there, and then also my direct cell phone is listed on there, 276-393-9140. And so any way that you're comfortable, you can get us through social media. We have an Instagram site, and then we also have a Facebook site. Both of them are at White Buffalo Fly Shop. And so
There you go, guys. Come build a couple rods. I'm gonna build one, two, after two. I'm still debating on the bamboo. Actually, I'm kind of intimidated, but I'm gonna still try it. So.
yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. buddy.
You're welcome, amigo.
Thank y'all for listening and watching. Living real life outdoors. Hoping you were more informed and educated on hunting, fly fishing, product reviews, hunting and fishing interviews from men and women of the outdoors. Archery and firearms too. Remember, we are stewards of the land and conservationists of the wildlife. Pass it rude and take a kid, or someone else takes a miss. Living real life outdoors. From your host. Until next time. Keep your guns oiled.